I'm also a woman. Hello, and me and my friends are hiding away. Hi, welcome to my channel and welcome to day 7 of 31 days of makeup. And I'm so sorry that the upload schedule is off by one day, but you will be getting day 7 and day 8 today. So today I am doing witch. Now, this video is going to deal with some slightly heavy themes. I'm going to try to keep it as PG-14 as possible. So let's get started with witch. So everyone's heard of the Salem witch trials, but let's talk about the little person who decided that, hey, let's villainize women. And his name was blank, because even though I watched this video right before filming, I forgot his name, but I'll pop up a picture. But there was also another guy named the Bellboy. And oftentimes, they would just base these accusations on women for, like, the smallest reasons. So, we all know the baseline one is if you were slightly too intelligent, you would possibly get trialed as a witch, because if you knew how to read, you knew how to write, you knew how to talk back to your husband, girl, it was game over for you. So oftentimes women would probably have to pretend to dumb themselves down a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more. There we go. So oftentimes they would test out if someone was a witch by a finger prick. By pricking their arm or their finger, and if they bled, they weren't a witch, and if they didn't bleed, they were a witch. And I'm like, what if you purposely did not prick that person's finger hard enough for them to bleed? Like, ever think about that? And these people, when witch hunters were making money, they were making bank. So the Salem witch trials were like the one with the most deaths of women. So oftentimes women would just say, yeah, I'm a witch, to stop from the torture. Like, there was like this bridal thing that oftentimes if women spoke out of turn, they would also have to wear. And they would parade these women across the streets being like, this is a witch. And I'm like, some of these accusations on someone being a witch was the dumbest thing that, like, has ever been spoken of, because some of them were like unmarried women, and I'm like, what age? Because like people, yes, were getting married at like 15, 14, 16, but like what age do you get considered a witch? And also, which, if people like accused you of the witch, they thought that if you had children like out of wedlock, that it was the devil's child. It's giving the Scarlet Letter. It's giving, like, bro, always blaming women for stuff. Like, golly, that just annoys me. Okay, so I finished my base. I am going to do a kind of glam witch makeup. I have a couple other looks that's pretty basic Halloween makeup. So I'm kind of just trying to keep it not looking super samey, but it's a little hard because there's only so many creatures and things I can do before the specials. So yeah, these women were just accused of being witches. Okay, and like, you know, the stereotypical witch, the big nose, the hunchback. Yeah, that was based off of a woman who had those traits. And I'm like, how messed up is that? Being like, oh, this woman doesn't meet our standards of beauty. Ugly. And also, like, she was being accused of being a witch because she knew how to deal with medicine. Like, all these useful things that these women knew were witchcraft to these guys. Redunculous. Actually redunculous. So after going in with my brightening, I'm just gonna fix up the areas that got covered in my brightening concealer as well. But like, I think that's just one horrible, like, judging people on based on how they look wild. Number two, like, it's still depicted like that today. So naturally, I'm a little happier that, like, witches are presented as beautiful. Okay, so I wasn't allowed to watch Harry Potter growing up. So I never experienced that. But growing up as a kid, even though I didn't celebrate Halloween like that, and my family wasn't really big on just doing stuff for Halloween, I got so mad when Hermione was called a wizard instead of a witch, because I'm like, wizards are just boys and witches are just girls, even though I know it's not like that today. For the longest time, I would get so heated up about that. That would be my argument every time. I'm like, you realize that's kind of wrong, that you're wrong and I'm right and I'm always right. And yes, I am using face paint as blush because this face paint is so pigmented. It works so well for blush. So I'm going in with a really pink rosy blush, because one of the reasons why women would also get tried for being a witch if they were too attractive. Can we not win? Like, bro, you're like, a guy thinks you're a little too fine as wine. He's like, witch. Like, be so for real, my guy. Be so for real, my guy. Okay, I am going to go in with setting powder. Now, here's the darker part of the video, so if any of this will make you uncomfortable, skip to this time. So I'm gonna talk about some of the ways these women were tried. So we all know, like, if you floated when you were tied up in the river, you were tried as a witch, right? Or they would just throw you, and if you could swim, you were a witch, or if you couldn't swim, you were a witch. I don't remember. It always gets flipped around in all the things I learned about. So it's really hard to tell. But I remember, like, everyone being like, oh, I'm so happy that I wasn't tried to be a witch. Like, that's not funny, but it kind of is. But, like, yeah, I think the most scary one is you would just get tortured. Like, just these women would get tortured until they, like, practically were forced to confess that they were witches. And some of them were able to, like, run away before their, like, trial. And you know that famous meme of the girl, like, smirking while the guy's like claiming her to be a witch? Like, golly ridiculous. So I'm going in with purple face paint because purple is just a witchy color. Like, every time I think of, like, oh, it's green, red, and purple. Like, so I always associate witches with purple. So I'm going in with purple on my lids and just a light dusting of it. And I will be doing kind of like a fade into it. So I'm gonna go in with my actual eyeshadow now, and I'm gonna go in with a colorful black and gently put it on the same way, and then I'm going to try to blend it out. So yeah, they would just practically torture these women, and, like, I'm pretty sure the youngest person who was tried for being a witch was like 12, 10. Like, bro, a 10-year-old is not gonna be messing with that like that. So the only way you were safe of not being accused as a witch is, 1, you were considered dumb, 2, you were ugly or considered ugly for that time period, 3, you were married. But, like, a lot of the time, even that sometimes wouldn't save you. So, like, basically, no one was safe. And a couple of men got trialed for being witches, but it was mainly, like, if they weren't masculine enough. So, like, not a lot of men at that time got tried for being witches. Okay, now I'm just going and trying to smoke out some of my eyes, and I'm going to try to add a bit of a wing to each side. I love this brush because she's angled, so she kind of gives that natural wing. And I'm gonna just go, and I'm gonna go in, and I'm gonna kind of just rub my eyes a little bit to give that sleepier look. Now I'm gonna go in with this dark maroon color, and I'm going to put it in the center of my lips. Yeah, but like, imagine thinking a woman's pretty, and you're like, oh, she's using witchcraft to be pretty. Like, redunculous. It's also very sad that, like, people were just so dumb back then. Golly. And that's like, the saddest one that I learned about was, like, the lady who, is, like, the stereotypical witch look. That one made me really sad because she was just trying to help her community out. Like she was good at making medicines and all this stuff, but due to the fact that she was a woman with like disabilities, she was tried for being a witch. And like this one well-off woman was tried for being a witch, but she was able to run away, which I'm like, yes. I would be running away too if I could, but at the same time people would just probably think I'm a witch because anyways, I am going to now contour my nose, because like a good, like, probably like 3 of the ones that I researched, they got trialed for being witch because a man wasn't able to sleep with her. Like, this one woman refused to sleep with this guy, and he was like, well, you're a witch then. Like, are you kidding me? And like, that was actually quite common. Like, a man wouldn't get his way with a woman who didn't want it, and she would be trialed for being a witch. Now, to add a little bit of shimmer, I'm going in with a purple, and I'm packing it on my brush without dog fur. I'm gonna pack it on my brush and then kind of try blending it all over the lid. And then I'm gonna try blending it all over the lid. And might as well, just for funsies, also, has anyone seen Little Witch Academia? If you have, comment down below your favorite episode, because I like rewatch that show every year. Like, that's one of the shows that I will rewatch because I love it so much. It's very cutesy. I'm just filling in my eyebrows to kind of give me a more serious, smexy look, because I feel like I don't give off that sexy energy that the men were so afraid of back then. Okay, we're almost done. I'm just going to add a little bit of mascara to my eyelashes, and then, ooh, I need to fix this side a little bit. It did not get with the program, and yikes. And I'm gonna try. Also, I'm almost at 300 subscribers, so if you have any ideas what I should do for my 300 subscribers special, let me know in the comments, and I'm going to put on some lashes, and then we are done. And that is all.
We solved.